Are you trying to establish your brand as a thought leader? Start a podcast, invite industry experts to be guests on your show, and watch your brand become the prime resource for decision makers in your industry. Learn more at sweetfishmedia.com.
You're listening to B2B Growth, a daily podcast for B2B leaders. We've interviewed names you've probably heard before, like Gary Vaynerchuk and Simon Sinek, but you've probably never heard from the majority of our guests. That's because the bulk of our interviews aren't with professional speakers and authors. Most of our guests are in the trenches leading sales and marketing teams. They're implementing strategy. They're experimenting with tactics. They're building the fastest growing B2B companies in the world. My name is James Carberry. I'm the founder of Sweetfish Media, a podcast agency for B2B brands, and I'm also one of the co-hosts of this show. When we're not interviewing sales and marketing leaders, you'll hear stories from behind the scenes of our own business. We'll share the ups and downs of our journey as we attempt to take over the world. Just kidding. Well, maybe. Let's get into the show.
Welcome back to the B2B Growth Show. I'm your host for today's episode, Logan Lyles, Director of Partnerships here at Sweetfish Media. I am joined by James Carberry. He is the founder and CEO here of Sweetfish Media. James, how you doing today, man?
I am fantastic, Logan. Super pumped to dive into this episode today. This book has been a game changer for me.
Absolutely, man. So for listeners out there, as you know, Monday through Friday, we're normally interviewing a sales or marketing leader at a fast-growing tech company. We've since started some new series in the stream here in B2B Growth. This is going to be our second in the book review series. And James, I love that you're going to be breaking down some topics from the book, Your Best Year Ever by Michael Hyatt. I think it's going to be very, very timely for a lot of folks as they're looking at, their 2019 professional goals, their personal development, whether, you're a believer in New Year's resolutions or just trying to take advantage of the timing and planning this time of year. So set the stage a little bit. We've got 4 things you're going to break down from this book, Your Best Year Ever. But could you just give us a little bit about high level on this book, man?
Yeah, so a lot of different things going on in my world this year that just I got out of focus of what I was trying to accomplish. And for the bulk of 2018, I was just out of a rhythm, kind of in a funk, not really sure, what to focus on. And then when I would get some clarity around what to focus on, I didn't have a solid system in place for actually executing toward that goal. And I've always been a really avid kind of goal setter. I always write out my goals at the end of every year. And so as I started to go do that this year, I was feeling a little bit depressed because I was like, man, I'd written out all my goals last year, but I fell off track. I couldn't even tell you what my 2018 goals were from this year because they weren't top of mind for me. I set them in January and forgot them by February, like most people. And so I was a little bit skeptical to dive into this book by Michael Hyatt because it's all about goal setting. And I was like, man, I'm going to set goals, but something's got to change because I don't want to repeat the same result that I got last year. And so what I really liked about this book, Logan, the first thing that Michael talked about, or maybe not the first thing, there's a few chapters that really kind of explain his methodology at a high level. But one of the first practical things that I got from him was that he suggests that you only have 7 to 10 goals for the entire year. And I know as I was kind of jotting down a list of goals, I looked down and I had like 22 goals written down. And so hearing this part of the book was like, oh, well, this is super helpful. 7 to 10 goals. And then only focusing on 2 to 3 of those at a time. So he says only having 2 to 3 deadlines per quarter. So that's another piece of this is he says all of your goals can't have the deadline of December 31st. You want to spread out those deadlines throughout the year so that you're hyper focused on very specific goals all throughout the year as opposed to thinking that I've got to achieve all 10 of these things because it takes away from focus. So I thought that was a really, really helpful tidbit from the book to have 7 to 10 goals and 2 to 3 deadlines per quarter. So I wanted to make sure to share that with listeners. The second takeaway that I had from this book was to have a mix of habit and achievement goals. So the difference being, if I want to make a habit out of getting in shape, I could say I want to lose 10 pounds, by, the end of January. Or I could say, I want to start jogging 3 days a week and going to the gym 1 day a week. And so he talks through in the book about the importance of balancing those goals, where my tendency is to just have achievement goals. When you're looking kind of designing your life around your ideals and what you care about, obviously, I don't want to just lose 10 pounds. I want to be a healthy human that, that lives a long time and can have a big impact on the world. And so if I die at 50, because I lost 10 pounds in 2019, but it really wasn't tied to a more compelling why than just losing 10 pounds. No, I want to be healthy for my family. I want to be healthy so I can grow lots of businesses and be a blessing to a ton of people. And so I liked that idea of not just having achievement goals, like we want to hit 2 million in revenue by the end of, Q3 in 2019, but those aren't bad to have, but also mixing in those habit goals, things like, I want to start cooking for my wife once a week. I don't want that to be just a one-off thing that I only do, in Q1. I want that to be a habit that I bake in to my life because I want to serve my wife in that way. She really likes it whenever she comes home from work and has a meal prepared for her. And so I want to be able to do that. So mix of habit and achievement goals was the second point. And then the third takeaway was reviewing your goals. Now, this is where I think I went off the rails last year because I didn't have a system to review my goals. And so Hyatt talks about reviewing your goals daily. And that's as simple as having a summary of your written goals somewhere in your office where it's easily visible, hanging on your wall, sitting on your desk, somewhere where you can see it daily, just keeping those goals written down in front of you so that you don't, set them in an app on your phone and then never look at them again, but they're in front of your face every single day. And then he talks through a system of having a weekly goal review where he spends, I think, maybe 15 minutes at the end of every week reviewing the why behind each of his goals, reviewing his results from the previous week, and then defining his next week's what he calls big three. I'll let people dive into the book to understand what the big three is. Essentially, you have three big things that you're focused on every day that map to the three big things that you're focused on for the week. And then he also has quarterly goal reviews. And these quarterly goal reviews are where you basically say, am I still pursuing the right goals? So you're doing these less often, but you're spending, he tries to spend a full day once a quarter reviewing his goals. He said when he's in a crunch, he can do it in 2 hours. So I just went into my calendar and I set at the end of every quarter, I put a 2-hour time block in my calendar to do a quarterly goal review. And then I'm going to try to implement the daily goal review as well as the weekly goal review. I've already got the weekly goal review in my calendar as well. I just need to hone down what are my 7 to 10 goals going to be and then put them on my desk so that I can do that daily goal review as well. Mm-hmm. But I think that's just going to help me stay focused in a way that I haven't been before. And then the fourth thing that I took away, it's not really a takeaway from the book, but it's something that if you're interested in this idea, you want to get more focused, you have audacious goals or goals that are going to make you better and the people around you better, focus is the answer to that. And so Hyatt has actually designed this thing called the Full Focus Planner. You can subscribe and he'll send you one book every quarter, one planner every quarter, and it really walks you through this entire methodology. Or you can just buy one book. I just bought one book. I'm not an affiliate for him or anything. So if you go and buy this, I'm not giving you a promo code or anything to go do this, but I'm going to try it out and experiment with it and try to stay committed through 2019 with using this methodology. So anyway, this book, Your Best Year Ever, really, really powerful. It really got me just in the mode of, goal setting and being excited about pursuing goals again, because I was, had a really rough year this year with some other things going on in my life and wasn't really feeling super motivated to set goals going into 2019. And now I am. So definitely check out the book, Your Best Year Ever. You can get it anywhere books are sold, I'm sure, because Michael Hyatt's a really big deal. Also check out his Full Focus Planner. So that's Your Best Year Ever, man.
I love it, man. I was really excited when I saw you post about this in our Slack channel, and I haven't dove into this book yet, but I'm really excited. And I can already tell it's going to be valuable because we're talking about, habits and the ways that those actually end up creating the vehicle to help you achieve your goals. focus. I think a lot of people in our generation struggle with that because there's so many things we could be doing. And I've been there before, as you talked about, like listing out goals and, oh man, this is everything that's in my head. How am I going to accomplish this? And I tend to have a tendency to think that things are going to happen faster than they actually do. So making sure that you prioritize. If I only get to 3 out of those 22, what are those 3 going to be? So I appreciate you breaking these down. We'll link to both the planner and the book for folks in the show notes. As you mentioned, not because we want the affiliate link, but just want to make it easy for folks to find those resources if they find this valuable. So James, thanks for breaking that down and sharing it with our team and with the listeners, man. I really appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, man. I'm looking forward to hearing feedback. So if anybody's listening to this and they haven't already connected with us on LinkedIn, connect with us on LinkedIn. Let us know what you think of the book. Always love hearing from you guys.
Absolutely. James, this has been a great conversation. And thank you, as always, for everyone listening to this. We greatly appreciate your attention. Until next time. Digital marketing agencies have a tough job. You have to stay on top of the latest marketing strategies for your clients and your agency. What if there was a way you could address both at the same time? Imagine your agency putting out content with greater quality and quantity. Envision bringing your clients a turnkey solution for one of B2B marketing's fastest growing media strategies, podcasting. You know, all those clients asking for your help with their account-based marketing efforts? Picture being the first to bring them the idea of content-based networking, showing them the proven strategy for breaking into their most coveted accounts. Here's the concept. Sweetfish Media is looking to work with a limited number of innovative agencies interested in a new partnership model. We produce a podcast for your agency. You introduce the power of podcasting and Sweetfish services to your clients. Everybody wins. Learn more at sweetfishpartners.com.